Welcome back, everyone. RacerX here, and today I wanted to put together a quick video for you guys about some news that I just received. Matter of fact, I just got done reading an article from our buddy Robert over at Mopar Insiders, and apparently there has been a proposal sent over to Carlos Tavares and team, the heads of Stellantis, about a possible American buyout of the former Mopar brand. So I've got all sorts of information to share with you on this. It's a very fluid situation. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my thoughts on this. We will go over it. It is a really interesting, fluid deal. So if you guys are brand new to the channel, do me a huge favor, hit subscribe. You can find that button right over here. And off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Guys, just a real quick reminder for you. Hop on over to Dream Giveaways website. They have some really epic giveaways going right now. One of my favorites is their Challengers giveaway, a 1970 Challenger paired with a 2023 Superstock. You can use my code RacerX for 3 times the entries for one price. Both of those cars in the same giveaway. They also just announced their Ram TRX Mammoth 1000. Same thing. RacerX gets you 3 times the entries. Go out there and enter to win.
It's no great secret among Mopar enthusiasts that there has been a lot of backlash about the way that the company is trending right now. After all, they're basically going away from, 60, 70 years of tradition when you talk about like Dodge, and now we're going to EVs, we're going to hybrids, all under the Stellantis regime, and a lot of people really feel like the company as a whole has just kind of fallen apart over the past 3 or 4 years. Really, ever since Stellantis got a hold of it, it's been a pretty massive downhill slide. And Carlos Tavares and team keep talking about how they need to fix it and cut costs and all that kind of stuff. And truth be told, most people are of the opinion, at least American consumers are of the opinion, that Carlos Tavares is completely out of touch with what the American consumers want for this brand. And there are a lot of people out there that are not enthusiasts that want just everyday A to B type cars. There's no mistaking that. And perhaps that's the way that they want Dodge to be in the future, or they want Chrysler to be in the future. But remember, these are performance-oriented brands. I mean, that's, it's like Ferrari. You don't think about Ferrari and think about a commuter car, right? You don't think about Lamborghini and think about a commuter car. Dodge has built itself as a performance brand or a muscle car brand. It's a fun brand. And all of the branding really leading up to the last year has all been about, hey, this is the fun brand. We don't care. Tire shredding power. We've talked about it so many times in the past. Well, apparently the great-grandson of the founder of Chrysler, Walter P. Chrysler, his name is Frank Rhodes Jr. He just submitted a proposal earlier today asking Carlos Tavares and team to consider a possible buyout so that Dodge, Chrysler, the old Plymouth brand, I don't know if that's going to get revised or not, can actually come back under American ownership and stand on its own and possibly maybe give Dodge and Chrysler a future in the American market.
My name is Frank Rhodes, and I'm here today because I want to protect one of our most iconic American brands, Chrysler. This is a picture of my great-grandfather, Walter P. Chrysler, in 1925, a letter signed to my grandmother, Bernice. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of what this company did, and I don't want to see it go away. We need to keep our American brands here.
So this proposal from Frank Rhodes Jr. is 17 pages long. I will go ahead and put a link to it in the video description so you guys can go check it out for yourself. And I would highly recommend reading it because it is really interesting. He does not hold back at all about calling out Carlos Tavares and his team in just about every way. Now, in this proposal, he talked a lot about the history of the brand, how old the brand is, how it came to being, why it is a performance brand, and why so many hardcore enthusiasts are so upset right now. And I think it's really cool to go back down memory lane and see how the Chrysler Corporation really started, how it evolved, and basically why so many brand loyal enthusiasts are upset right now. He called out broken promises on multiple occasions from Stellantis leadership, a $40 million salary that Carlos Tavares pulled in while he's talking all about how they're going to cut all these costs across North America, how they're going to have to lay people off. That is a bit of a weird thing. And then, of course, the stock price. You can imagine how much stock he owns. says it's made him basically no money at all, which is kind of a bummer. Also, a lack of action when it comes to what the Chrysler Corporation has been doing. They've basically cut out the Chrysler 300. They have just the minivan. What is that CEO doing? He calls it out in depth, and basically they have just ignored the Chrysler brand. He is not happy about that, as you can imagine. And also a huge misappropriation of funds. They could have spent these funds in a different way, but they decided not to. Now, I wrote some key takeaways down from his 17-page proposal, and really a lot of this makes perfect sense to me, at least from an enthusiast perspective. And I love what he is trying to do here, and I could not agree more with everything that he says here. He talked about obviously purchasing back Chrysler, Dodge, and the Plymouth name. Of course, we know they're not making Plymouths right now. That could change if this actually happens. And he wants to make a new Chrysler/Dodge LLC that is American-owned and independent of Stellantis leadership. And a lot of people feel like that would really open up the playbook for this American-owned company to do a lot more, and I would tend to agree with that 100%. I mean, Matt McAleer would probably love to have an open playbook to do a lot of the stuff that I know he would want to do as a car enthusiast, but essentially he called out striking a balance between innovation and tradition. And that is really the key, right? If we're just going to go straight down this EV road and you're asking performance enthusiasts to get on board with that, that's a really hard jump. Yes, I know we have the six-pack coming out here pretty soon, the Hurricane Inline 6, which I think will be great, but a lot of people are really kind of struggling with the direction of the company like we talked about. And but he did call out hybrid technology as being kind of a feasible option, and I have said it at length. I think hybrid technology is fantastic, especially the ones that you don't have to plug in, because you get the best of both worlds, right? You get all electric torque, plus you still get a gasoline powered engine, so you can just go up to the pump, you can fill it up, it's nice and convenient, and it's just a nice blend of both worlds. He also talked about making offerings, not only new offerings, but making offerings more affordable. He fully realizes that prices have gotten completely out of hand, and they have to have offerings really for everybody out there. So he called out the fact that they want more affordable options, because not everybody makes $130,000 a year or can afford an $80,000 car. So they have to make some things that the younger enthusiasts can get on board with. The people that don't make as much money, they can be just as much of an enthusiast as the people that make millions of dollars a year and can afford, whatever the heck they want. And they need to have kind of offerings for everybody. So yeah, they want to have some super high horsepower offerings out there that maybe not everybody can afford, but they want to be able to kind of get that performance segment taken care of, and they want to talk about everyday type driver cars. So I think he realizes that we're missing the mark on a lot of things, right? Price point, quality. He called out, how can we bring quality back to where it needs to be? Obviously, he realizes that the quality aspect, it's just not been there for the last couple of years. People complain about it all the time. They talk about reliability. So he seems to realize all of these things and knows that change is needed. So here is the reality of the situation and why I'm a little bit skeptical about this whole thing. And it really does bum me out a little bit. Stellantis already has the gears in motion, so to speak, right? I mean, and this is a very expensive rabbit hole that they've already decided to go down in the form of billions and billions invested already. And so how do you kind of backtrack your way out of that at this point, right? I mean, like I said, they're already full steam ahead down this EV and hybrid road. The transition of the brand has already begun. Obviously, Tim Kuniskis is no longer with the brand anymore. We have Matt McAleer, as I mentioned before, who's also a great car guy, but he's kind of got his hands tied a little bit with what the brand is willing to offer at this point. And I just don't see how Stellantis could back all of this out, so to speak, right? I mean, how do you go away from factories that are already being tooled up for EVs and kind of go more towards internal combustion technology, all that kind of stuff? I'm not saying it's not doable, but I just don't see how it would be worth it for Stellantis to want to go this route and even entertain a possible buyout. And that does bum me out a little bit, because as an enthusiast and somebody who's kind of looking at this from a reality perspective, I feel like the brands would do much better under independent American leadership. Somebody who's not so focused on the European consumer, but the American consumer, where this brand was kind of derived, right? The customer that it was initially targeted for. Dodge, Chrysler, they need to go back to their roots. They need new appealing models. They need less expensive cars. Everything he talks about in this proposal, they need it to stay alive, 100%. Like I said, guys, go read it. You will see. So I just want to kind of put this information out there. I did send an email off to Frank asking him for more information and what I can do to try and support the movement, because I also see kind of the way that things are evolving, and I am very worried about Dodge. I'm extremely worried about Chrysler. I think Chrysler could go away at any point. And obviously for Frank, whose great-grandfather started that company, that has got to be an ultimate kick in the nads. So I would be fully on board with seeing this happen. I just want to spread the word right now. This is a fluid situation, as I told you guys just a little bit ago. So constantly evolving. Maybe over the next few days, we will find out that this meeting happened and get more information. Still very skeptical that, you know, Stellantis would be willing to entertain this after kind of spending all this money. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense for them to do that, but a guy can hope. We can all hope as enthusiasts. And if there's more we can do to help Frank and kind of his quest to get these brands bought back from Stellantis, I think we all need to be on board with that. I certainly would be. I will tell you guys if there's more that you can do on your end. As I find out more, just wanted to share this info. Let me know what you guys think. Could this be a good thing for these brands? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, RacerX.